Hi, Cozies, and welcome to this week's Tuesday teaching all about mixing styles. This is one of the topics that you voted on at the beginning of the summer, and there were a few different ways that people suggested it, but this was a suggestion from the community, and I got really excited about it. Mixing styles and just thinking about style in general is something that I'm really into personally right now. And so I thought it would be a fun topic to talk about, but I want to give a disclaimer, and really this is for every time we have a teaching, that I'm not done thinking about this, but I feel that way more with style than anything else. Like I'm still working out what it is I believe about style, even like how I define personal style and those types of things. So just know I'm kind of workshopping this with you as we go, and I retain the right to change my mind. But I think it's a fascinating thing to think about. Like, how do we perceive style, and what is our personal style, and what does that exactly mean, and how do we accomplish that? So let's just move on. I think today's teaching is more of like a mindset in your head kind of thing than like a step 1, 2, or 3. So that's fun. Sometimes we have more like super applicable, get up, change your room. And sometimes we have more how to think about our home and our rooms. And I think that's helpful as well. Okay. Well, the obvious place to start is, what is style? So I think, especially in this community, we use the word style in 2 different ways. So you can have style, or like our sofa can be a specific style. So example, what style is the sofa? What that would mean, like a distinctive quality, a form, or a type of something. So in this specific case, we can even say, oh, that sofa is a Chesterfield style sofa. But also, we use that as like a general, a manner of doing something. So saying like, I like her style, or I really relate to like Emily Henderson's style. So that's like more of a general term, and it's more personal. So I just want to make sure I tried to, when I'm talking about style with a capital S, it's referring to an era or a specific, like, definable style that we can pinpoint. This is a Chesterfield sofa. We know what a wingback chair is. And style with a little s hopefully will refer more to like a personal collection and a way that we do things. One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot lately is that I believe that unique personal style is only found in the combination of things. So I'm trying to decide if I believe this or how I'm thinking about taste versus style. And so the question, which feel free to answer in the comments, can a person have great taste but have no real style? And I guess even with that, we would have to define taste. I've heard someone recently define taste as someone who likes the same things that you do. Like if someone has great taste, then we say, you have great taste because they like all the things that we like. But I do think there is something to that. The difference between taste of choosing individual items and style, the way that we create combinations. So one could have great individual pieces, but maybe is timid in putting them together or doesn't care to have a lot of creativity. I think anyone could. I think some of us are just more prone to like wanting to really dive into our unique style. And you know how I am when we're talking about something to do with home. For whatever reason, I think sometimes it's helpful to start with applying that to our clothes first. We have much more practice with creating outfits than we do a room, because we create an outfit every day. So let's talk about creating a style with our outfits. And a lot of times we wear a few items together and it creates kind of a personal look, depending on how much you put into that, how much time you put into that. So in this case, we've got an oversized blazer, we have wide leg jeans, we have Converse sneakers. I'm sure there's even a t-shirt under there. So when these items are all worn together, they create this girl's style today. Now, if I bought a pair of Converse, that is great. That might mean I have great taste. But wearing the Converse and then being naked does not create a style. The Converse is just one ingredient. The style happens with what I mix with it. Same here with this leopard trench, a striped tee, a plaid pencil skirt. Bam! This outfit has a lot of style. Now, that doesn't mean that it's 100% everyone raises their hand and says, I love this, I want to wear it. But I think everyone would say, yes, she has a specific style. This outfit has a specific style with lowercase s. And so we all get that. And we're all able to kind of define like, oh, what that style is. It's a mixing of small patterns, all in neutral colors. Bam, we've got a style. Here's some more examples of style mixtures. So each one of these, I have a blue chambray shirt, but I certainly don't have a high-waisted midi pencil skirt in a crazy pattern like this. Crazy being a good thing. It's wonderful with a really impactful statement necklace. So it happens, her style is created here with a combination. Same within the middle, a small pattern floral blouse mixed with plaid pants. Same with on the end, we've got another oversized jacket with some mom jeans with a cute pair of boots and a fun hat. So look at the combinations, and that is how personal style is created. Of course, the fun thing with clothes is you can change your style based on what you add to it. So here, another example of style. Now, of course, style does not have to be all florals and plaids and mixed patterns. I tried to find really extreme examples, but things that still were like approachable, not things that only people on the runway wear. And so here, every piece in these examples has a strong pattern or a strong color or a strong maybe era that it's from, or a place in history, or even like the African style skirt down there. So you can kind of pinpoint, and explain it. But here, this outfit still has style, but there are not loud patterns. There are not big colors, but we have silhouettes and we have textures. So we have ripped skinny jeans. We have white tennis shoes. We have a black fitted tee. We have a camel trench coat. And this creates a style together as well. And of course, if a person was to just change the shoes, it changes the entire look. And so this style feels really different from this style, and you just changed a little bit. Pieces with presence combined together, sometimes in unexpected ways, create a unique style. It's impossible to create a unique style in the combinations if you only have like 4 things. If you only have t-shirts, plain jeans, tennis shoes in the same color in average silhouettes. And that's why a lot of us who are into clothing, we like to have bootcut jeans and skinny jeans and crop jeans. We like to have different cuts of shirts and blouses, turtlenecks and sweaters. We like to have different shoes because the combinations create style possibilities. Okay, so now we're going to apply that to our furniture, because the truth is, if mixing styles sounds really, really fun to you, and I think there's a lot of people in this community who don't really care about that, and that is totally fine. But for some of us, I know for me, I'm really getting into mixing styles and want that to be more of what defines my home, more than maybe color or more than farmhouse style or naming a style. I want to have a mix of styles. And if you want that, well, that means you need pieces with presence individually, just like with your clothing, that are combined in unexpected ways. Okay, so if unique style is found in the combinations, then mixing styles is what creates interest. So here in this photo, there are different pieces that each carry their unique style. That portrait on the wall feels like a colonial era. And that light fixture is very modern. The tulip table is also modern, but then those rustic stools like totally throw it off. So all of these colors and textures and styles and eras together create this unique style. So in order to combine styles, that means if you want to combine styles, okay, if you want to mix those and have a house that feels like it's combining styles, it means you first have to have pieces that have an identifiable specific style, okay? So one way to start is with really big, impactful pieces. You might already have pieces like this. So if you're going to start with big style pieces, it might be some seating in your house. So look at all of these chairs, each one of them, which I love them all, but they all have, don't they all have a personality? Like some look like they're masculine, some are more feminine, some look grumpy, some look happy, some look cozy. They all have a unique style and personality. And so these chairs, if mixing styles with something that you love, you might be tempted, or you might want to utilize chairs like this that really carry a strong sense of style. In the book Classic Style, I think I talked about that last week. It's by Kate Shelter. She says that style is something that is describable to your grandmother over the phone. I thought that was really good. Okay. So like a Coca-Cola can, you would tell your grandmother, okay, it's a red can. And then it has this really beautiful slanty font that's like wavy. And then it has a white wave and it's going up and down on the can. Or a Weber grill. Oh, it's a round grill with 3 legs. 2 of them have wheels. It's like a tripod base with a little griddle that catches the whatever stuff in the middle. Levi's jeans, you could describe that. Well, they have a leather patch on the back, and then they have a little red tag that says Levi's going up and down. Birkenstock sandals, you could describe those. Well, they're suede. They have 2 big buckles on top, and then they have, the foot sole, and then the bottom, whatever you want to describe. So see how they have distinct describable things about them. Well, the same can happen in our home with furniture. If you want the pieces in your home to carry a specific style, well, one way you could ask if they're doing that is if they're very describable. So over on the left, a tulip table actually kind of has the shape of a tulip. Sometimes it's marble topped, or it's black, or it's in all white. In the middle, the Chesterfield. Well, the arms are as high as the back, and it's got tufted arms and back, and it's got legs, a lot of times on casters. Often you'll see it in a vintage fabric like leather or linen or velvet. So you can really easily describe that. Even an inlay mirror is timeless. So it's a bone inlay with black and white. It's got tiny pieces all put together like a mosaic that create a floral, in this case, image. So all of those are very describable. Same with these sofas. So if you really want to mix styles, that means the next time you go sofa shopping, whether new or maybe on Facebook Marketplace, you might look for a sofa that has a very strong sense of style. And that probably means a sofa that has a name, or that has a silhouette that can be kind of traced back, like a tuxedo sofa, or an English roll arm, or a camelback, or a Chesterfield, or a Lawson sofa. There's all kinds of sofas. When you can kind of trace it back to its roots, it almost has a stronger sense of style and does some of that work for you, because that's how we read style in a room, is the presence. So here are some classic sofa silhouettes, and you can see even the drawing. So a cabriole, which is referring to the leg, and then all the wood accents, the Chesterfield with all the tuftedness and the arms as high as the back. The Lawson, and that's what a lot of us have, are kind of a Lawson style of sofa. And I would say if you're shopping for that sofa, just be careful of not getting something where the arms are way too bulky, or where the back leans out way too far, because those can take up a lot of room. In the middle right is the camelback sofa, which is timeless and kind of is coming back right now. Down at the left, an English roll arm. That's what I have. And then we have a tuxedo sofa. If you look throughout the ages, if you find a magazine like a Better Homes and Gardens from 1978, you're going to flip through the pages and you're going to see like crazy outdated decor. But what you also will see is these sofa silhouettes. Because they are timeless, because they are a style with a name, that means if you had a sofa, maybe you have a camelback sofa from 1978, all you would have to do, if it's made well enough, is get it recovered in maybe an updated fabric, and your sofa will look great today. And so you will see all of these silhouettes on Instagram, in your favorite magazines, and on Pinterest. And these are kind of timeless classics when it comes to a silhouette. Now, for many of us, we cannot go out today and buy all new things for our room because we want a mixed, eclectic style look. So for people like us, that probably means we're going to start small with a lower risk. So here are some tiny things that you could consider just to maybe punch up the statement pieces in your room. Floor lamps and lighting, so overhead light, floor lamps, regular lamps, are a great way to kind of switch out and add some drama. Side chairs, so maybe not a really poofy upholstered piece, but a side chair that is going to be less money, but that still a lot of us use in our home. Pillows and artwork. So these are easy things that we can trade out that are not going to cost us $1 million, but we can still have an impact on our room and begin to mix styles if that's something you want to do. So let's say you have a farmhouse, very, very farmhouse style family room, and you want a stool, maybe to go in front of your sofa so you can like put a pile of books on. If you wanted to mix styles, and it's not a requirement at all, but if you wanted to, then instead of getting this farmhouse stool that would probably be called farmhouse stool if you Googled it, maybe consider changing up the style by looking for a stool that kind of feels like it's the opposite of farmhouse. And then, of course, you would still want to pick out a stool that you really love. So you don't want to pick out one you don't like just because it's the opposite. Within your personal style, you would want to pick out like the opposite of the style that you maybe have the most in the room and pair it with that. So maybe a black stool or a white stool. Clearly, I'm into black and white, have problems, but this is what I would do. And I think black and white is a great way to punch up anything. And because contrast is queen, if you want to be seen, when you add in things to your room, well, that are black and white or black and white, you're going to see that contrast. But also, when you add something to a room that is the opposite of the style you currently have, that also creates a type of visual contrast, and it really draws the eye. So it's going to have a lot of impact. Here's another example of just starting with one unexpected piece. So this is a very traditional room, from the wallpaper to the furniture, the wood, the carpet, the blinds, the built-ins. Everything is very traditional except for that one funky floor lamp. So what a simple way to start. It's very low risk. I'm sure if they brought that floor lamp home and hated it, they just keep the receipt in the tag and they can return it. So what a great way to slowly introduce a mix of styles to a room. Well, another way, this is my very favorite way to mix up the style, is to purposely shop the house and pair something together that's really unexpected. So I love here these big moose antlers paired with really traditional kind of dainty feminine chair. So this is a beautiful combination, a really fun combination. And if you're shopping your house and you don't like it, you just put everything back. So shopping your house, putting items together always works best when each item is alone carrying its own unique style. And remember, we read style as having presence or impact, contrast, scale. All of those things we say, or we would refer to like, oh, that's got a lot of style. So what that means is if you shop your house and instead of pulling things like on the left with these really impactful pieces that on their own carry a lot of style, if you just pull a run-of-the-mill, average, quiet, nothing special chair, hey, he does his job, he's a cushy seat at the table, but it doesn't really have a unique style. And pair that with, just the fake antlers that are tiny that you can get anywhere hung together. See the difference in style. One, we would say, ooh, that's got a lot of style. And one, we almost ignore. And so impact, risk, contrast, scale, those all read as style. And so as you are shopping your house, I want you to keep in mind, maybe even ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What do I have packed away in the attic that maybe I should pull down while everyone is at school and at work and I can just play with and see, and I'll take a picture of it, load it in the Cozy community, ask them if I'm crazy. But what if, I think so many of us have hidden things in the corners and the attics and the garages of our homes that we're not using that could bring such impact, personality, and meaningful beauty to our spaces. Bold, confident choices mixed together creates a personal style. Look at this room. It's so sweet, but it also has a bit of masculinity. It's got unexpected with the zebra rug. It's got like a French provincial style chair. We have a modern lamp. We have a disco ball hanging from the ceiling, but we've got traditional wallpaper. It's just a lovely, quiet mix. Mixing styles doesn't mean you have to go overboard or crazy. Of course, if you're more of a maximalist and you want more stuff, it's an opportunity to add more of that as well. So here's a picture of a beautiful little cabin, but if you take a really close look at it, you can see that everything in it is the same style. It's very country traditional, and I love each individual piece. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this. But let's say this was your room and you just wanted it to feel more like you were mixing styles. Well, here on the right are some suggestions of items you could add in to kind of mix up the style. So maybe you just get a large, funky piece of art, or maybe you just create. I mean, you don't have to buy this art, just get black and white paint and a big canvas from Hobby Lobby or the thrift store, and you can create your own really modern feeling art. Maybe you just tuck in an abstract chair that feels a little more modern, or an overhead fixture that is the opposite of country, so something more modern. Or maybe you just update the pillows that feel fresh and exciting. And so those are all really simple ways that don't have to be redecorating, that you can just kind of upgrade or change the style a little bit, but it adds this sense of unexpectedness. It's going to draw your eye, and it creates more of a personal style look. I, again, believe that the very best way to find your unique style of mix, and maybe what it is because it's so nuanced, is to create a pin board of, you can call it whatever you want. Like I think I have one called, well, I do, I'm sharing it. It's called, what is it called? Contrast styles or mixing styles or combinations. And Megan will give the link to that. But just begin to pin rooms, and this is fun because it can be any room in the house, of styles that you love the mixed combinations of. And when I did that, I learned that I loved large pieces. I loved mixing black and whites with woods. I loved seeing mixes of woods and metals, really interesting light fixtures, interesting art, but also white space. And so that was really helpful for me when I was making my own decisions in my family room. And so I was able to look at my pin board and say, well, I want some interesting wood. So I got the wood carved mirror. I wanted light fixtures that felt a little bit more modern. So I got those wall sconces that have an exposed wire, they're brass, they feel really modern. I paired that with my English roll arm sofa. So really timeless, but in a contrasting, really dark black velvet, and was able to choose some items based on my pin board and knowing that I wanted a mix of things. Now on the left is my office, and to be honest, I'm not happy with it. And really working on this keynote, whatever we call this morning, really helped me, because I figured out, I think the reason I don't like my office is I started off with a really strong sense of style with the pieces. In the back corner there, you can see a little hint of my big oversized wing back. I have a pair of those. I have a tulip table in the middle, but then I just kind of lost track and I needed storage. And so I kind of fudged with that and got 3 little dressers and put something on top and married pieces together, but I don't love that. I really want storage that has a sense of style. I got rid of the 2 little green chairs and gave them to my sister. And so I'm back to knowing that for this room, especially my storage, I want to have something that has a stronger sense of style. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for, but I'm not in a hurry for that. All right. So what Megan just shared, the Pinterest board, is my pin of combinations. And what I would do if I were you, because of course, a lot of these are my personal style. If you want to make a combinations or a mixed style pin board, I would start with this. This is a great jumping off point. And of course, if there is a pin that you really love, click on it. It's going to enlarge. And then I want you to scroll underneath. And that's going to give suggested pins of similar look, similar images, people that liked that same image, other images they liked. And that's probably going to give you a hint into what it is that you're looking for when it comes to mixed styles, because it is such a personal, nuanced thing. Once you get 50 to 100 pins, you're going to be able to pinpoint what is it. Maybe you like mixed colors or mixed patterns, or, all kinds of wallpapered walls. Maybe you like furniture that has different eras, or maybe you really want different fabrics. Whatever it is, you're going to be able to pinpoint it more when you make the pin board. I make a pin board for everything, which you know by now. So I think that's it. Let me see if I can scroll anymore. No, that's it. So we have done it for today. Really interesting thing to think about. And if you want to read more about style, I love the Classic Style book by Kate Shelter that I shared last week. But make that pin board and feel free to share it in the community, especially if you want someone to do a Pinterest reading on what is it maybe that you're going for when it comes to your unique mix of styles.